Hey everyone, welcome back to TCO Performance Center and another edition of the Pick Six. I'm your host, Mike Wobschall. We're all in a good mood. The Vikings have won 3 in a row, looking to make it 4 in a row against a hot Saints team that has won 5 in a row. Going to be a fun atmosphere on Sunday night. But first, we have some work to do. Let's answer your questions. The first one comes from Jeff in California. How about some extra love for Latavius Murray? I like our depth at running back, but Murray is definitely earning his keep. No doubt about it, Murray has stepped up his game when the Vikings have needed him most. Not only is he a tough runner, he's been explosive. 8 runs of 10 or more yards in the last 3 games, including Murray's 38-yard touchdown run in the 4th quarter against the Jets. Another great part about Murray's game, very good picking up the blitz. Question number 2 comes from Dan. I think the main reason we were able to dominate the entire game against the Jets was multiple long and sustained drives that resulted in scores. I agree with that, and so does head coach Mike Zimmer. He loves when we win the time of possession battle, which we did in New York, thanks in large part to 2 61-yard touchdown drives in the 4th quarter. For the game, the Vikings had 4 50-plus yard drives that resulted in touchdowns. That is domination. Our next question comes from Nathan in Mount Vernon. Just how great have the Vikings been in the second half all year? They have been decent in the first half, but the numbers have got to be exceptionally better than most teams. You are correct, Nathan. The Vikings are outscoring their opponents 100-70 in the second half of games this season. That indicates to me quality in-game adjustments and a tough fighter mentality by players on the field. John has the next question from Valley Center, California. Our defense has been playing well, but obviously not as great as we did last season. What do you think it will take to get back to championship form on defense? Well, I think the Vikings defense was there on Sunday against the Jets. They became an elite team over the last 3 weeks on 3rd down. They have allowed only 2 3rd down conversions on the last 29 3rd down snaps. The Vikings forced 4 turnovers this past week against the Jets. That looks like a championship level defense to me. Still some things they can improve. That's what they'll work on this week. A big challenge against Drew Brees and the Saints. The next question comes from John. With all the batted down passes, why don't the Vikings roll Cousins out of the pocket? Yeah, I think the bootlegs are a good idea, and that's something Kirk Cousins does well, and I bet we'll see it more this season. But just like we talked about last week, to get rid of those batted down passes, the offensive line can block better, and I bet you Kirk Cousins has a few things he can adjust as well. I don't think it'll be a problem this week against the Saints. Final question comes from Brett in Albert Lee. Now that Mike Hughes is out for the season, who do you think has a shot to be our most important rookie contributor? Let's talk about 2 guys. First, Brian O'Neill, who has stepped in at right tackle as a rookie and has played pretty well. Riley Reiff is out, so Rashad Hill goes from right tackle to left tackle. Brian O'Neill has stepped in there at right tackle, and he's done a good job. Secondly, how about Holton Hill, the rookie corner out of Texas, comes in for Mike Hughes as the returner and on some other special teams phases and played pretty well. Then Xavier Rhodes goes out of the Jets game, and on the very next play, Holton Hill gets his first career interception. Love watching that guy play. I think Brian O'Neill and Holton Hill are going to be key for the Vikings the rest of the way. That's going to do it for this week's edition of the Pick Six. Thank you again for watching. We want you to be involved in next week's edition of the Pick Six, so please submit your questions to the email address at the bottom of the screen. We'll see you next week.